Dr. Mrs. Adebusola Ogunmodede. I'm a consultant psychiatrist here at the University of Ilorin Teaching Hospital in Kwara State. Okay. The COVID-19 infection is actually caused by, coronavirus, which is a respiratory virus. Which belongs to the family of viruses, causing, what we've known before, SARS and common cold and all of that. Okay, the severe acute respiratory syndrome. All right, is a new virus which has caused, caught us by surprise, both as health workers and even as in the whole world, in its dimensionality. Dimensionality in terms of its spread and dimensionality in terms of its symptomatology. Of course, you are very familiar with the symptoms, ranging from things like, just fever, cough, chest pain, malaise, muscle pain, things like diarrhea, and a host of other symptoms. Okay, and we know that it is fatal. So this is very serious in its dimensionality as per symptomatology. And of course, the dimensionality of spread. We have seen a virus that has crossed international borders, affecting people all over, the world. Even places where they thought they would never have a case of this, infection now have many cases. And then it's affected many people in different regions of the world. And that is why the World Health Organization has said this is not just simply an epidemic, this is of pandemic proportions. Of course, we know that there's no health without mental health.
Yes, ma'am.
So, and then a lot of things, especially illnesses like this, have psychological effects. If I want to start from the health workers, of course, not only doctors, nurses, other allied professionals within the healthcare industry have had to face the reality of this very virulent virus, that is now walking amongst us. Okay, so right now, with health workers, you have a lot of trepidation coming to work, because this is a virus that can be transmitted with mere talking. An infected person talking to you, coughing at you, and sneezing at you can actually make you get this virus.
Wow.
So there's a lot of anxiety. There's a lot of worry. Health workers come to work thinking, would I be the next person? Despite all of the protective mechanisms, that have been put in place, the truth is that this virus still spreads to health workers. Another thing that is fueling the fear in health workers is that they need to go back to their families. They don't live within the hospital forever. What if they catch this? Will they go back and spread it to their family members? We have had many health workers, even some unfortunately losing their lives from this COVID-19 infection. Alright, apart from that, for us, working with mentally ill people, we have had problems, with people accessing care. The truth is that most people are scared. They're scared of coming to the hospital because it has been said within the general populace that you can actually get this, virus from a simple visit to the hospital.
Actually.
So many people who are on treatment wish to come to the hospital, but they are afraid. So they are defaulting clinic follow-up. By default, they are also defaulting medication use. So you have more people breaking down. Many people within this period have lost their sources of livelihood, including patients right now. And not only mentally ill patients, so they are not able to get their medications. Many people, even with physical illnesses, cannot come to the hospital because they don't have money. They've lost their source of livelihood. During this period, businesses are folded up, people have not been able to get money. The general populace, you have a lot of misinformation causing anxiety. Misinformation, infodemics, a lot of things, being said about this virus. So people are, once again, they are afraid. You have people within the general populace, that have lost their source of livelihood. This is big.
Wow.
I know that in the last few months, we have had patients, we have had people, coming to us with suicidal thoughts because of economic downturn. So, and that is how bad it can be. What of the people that are infected? That is big. That's another bag. A person that has gone to the isolation center because of COVID-19 infection has come back, whether it's a health worker or non-health worker, has been fortunate to come back. But while he was there, he saw people die. So he came back with symptoms of post-traumatic stress disorder. He came back with symptoms of anxiety. And then he came back to the community, and the greatest surprise was that people said, you need to go back. You are the one that made our community to be labeled, community with COVID-19 infection. So you have stigma. And then because of stigma, you have depressive symptoms. You can have maladaptive, coping mechanisms with all of this, including substance use, and you can have suicide. So this is a all big bag that we should talk about. One major risk that I'm going to talk about is infectivity. Like we said before, this is a virulent virus. This is a virus that has no respect for economic status, for sex or whatever. So, and does not have respect for profession. You can't say because you're a healthcare worker, you cannot have the COVID-19 infection. You can have it. So there is the risk of infectivity, which is big. Because a person that is infected is 100%. Why do I say that? That person that is infected, apart from being a healthcare worker who is contributing his own quota to, the development of the healthcare industry, is also a father or a mother, as the case may be, has a family.
Okay.
That person is 100% because he also belongs to a social group. So he's socially relevant. He belongs to a spiritual organization, in a place like Nigeria. So he's also religiously relevant. So he's 100%. That healthcare worker that you see as a nurse, as a doctor, as a psychologist, as a social worker is 100% and has the risk of infectivity. So measures have been put in place in all hospitals all over, the country. So I will stick to what is here where I work. For instance, you can see that I'm with a mask.
Okay.
It is not only for healthcare workers. In fact, it is because, you're in my office. That is why I'm wearing a cloth mask. If I have to see a patient, I'll possibly use, a better mask, an N95 mask. I'm going to use a face shield. I'm going to use an apron. All of these things have been provided, so that the risk of infectivity is low. There are hand washing facilities all over the hospital because we know that hand washing is key. There are sanitizers that are provided, also so that people can sanitize their hands. Their personal protective equipment are in grades. People that are right on the front line, in the holding areas and all of that, they have to wear the full PPE. So it's very, 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 very important, and these are measures that are put in place, that people have to adhere to. Another thing is that we have protocols for managing COVID-19 positive patients in different departments. Protocols, for handling caregivers, protocols also for several aspects, of care, which is very important because people must know what to do at every point. Okay. All right. What I will say, which is very important, is a COVID-19 infection. It is real. It's real.
Definitely.
And I say it with all sense of personal responsibility. This is real. Please, don't let anybody deceive you that, oh, they're using it to make money, or the government is using it to collect foreign aid. The truth is that many people have lost their lives, from this infection, and it's not only Nigerians. So this is real. Take precautions. The face mask, use your mask while interacting with people. Wash your hands regularly. Maintain social distancing. Very, very important. Don't be carried away that it is not real. It is real, and you need to stay alive.